Welcome, friends. Today, we are being haunted by ghosts. But also, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 21st of January, 2024. Magnificent. That is right, my friends. Once again, I am back with another fragrance rotation video for your delectation. I don't know if that's a word, but I've said it now. This week has been it's been different. I have worn some ambers this week, but I've also worn a couple of fragrances that I haven't worn for a long time. So I will be excited to introduce you to them, or reintroduce you to them. But first, I'm sure you've all heard of this one. On Monday, I wore Vintage Fahrenheit. You'll just have to believe that it's Fahrenheit because the name is it's given up. It's given up. It's hanging on in there a bit, but you know, it's not ideal. This is violet leaf. This is leather. It is vetiver. It's got a heat, a fuel kind of vibe. This kind of viscous, oily sort of thing. Maybe there's a little bit of incense in there. The performance is massive, especially on these older ones. I think the newer ones aren't bad for performance either. This is a little bit more raw. The latest versions of this kind of smell a bit... What do they smell a bit? They smell a bit tame compared. Not as dangerous. This is a dangerous smelling perfume. I really like it. It's one of, if not the finest iterations of violet leaf in any perfume, never mind the designer sphere. I can't think of a better one. Another perfume that springs to mind as far as violet leaf is concerned is Impression Cedarwood Heart by Ostens. And they are quite... What are they? They're quite different. The violet leaf is there, but it goes off in a total different direction to the Fahrenheit. Anyway, this was what I wore on Monday, and fantastic it was. Next up, Tuesday. Tuesday I went with something completely different. And this is another classic of the genre. My favourite amber, probably. I should do a top 10 ambers at some point. This is one of those perfumes. If you collect perfumes, everybody's got those perfumes where you smell it and you think, bloody hell, this is what perfume can actually do. You know? That kind of thing where you think to yourself, right, I'm now fully engaged in the perfume thing, you know? And this was it for me, Ambre Sultan. I didn't know. I was a collector for years before I discovered like niche and like different designers. So I was basically just going to the same counters in the department store or the fragrance store and just picking stuff up, you know, which is good, but it kind of, you know, limits your options. And as soon as I smelled this, my God, it's got this orange smell, but not like the fruit. It smells like the colour orange. It smells like the colour of the juice. Very interesting. Labdanum, vanilla. There's herbs and spices. Those sneaky little herbs and spices at the top are what make it special. There's another amber coming up next as well, which doesn't have that for me. And it's what makes this stand out, you know. I absolutely love it. I got a Surge haul this week, which I was very, very happy to receive. And I've got some backups of this. I've got about 20 ml left, between 20 and 25, just under half a bottle. Anywho, next up, we have a 2001 release from the house of L'Artisan Parfumier, and this is L'Eau d'Ambre Extreme. I also have L'Eau d'Ambre, but I don't think it's quite as good as this. I prefer this. It's a little bit more heavy, rich, dense, thick, bottom heavy, you know. And I really like that about this. How it's kind of resinous and gloopy and syrupy, very thick, you know. Vanillic. It just doesn't have that. It just doesn't have that thing at the top. I think it's got cardamom and cinnamon in it, but it doesn't have. There's something about Ambre Sultan that just lifts, it just elevates it, just takes it into a different dimension. It's like at a right angle to other perfumes, other amber perfumes. But this is still this is still absolutely brilliant. You can't go wrong. If you ever manage to come across a bottle of this and you like ambers, I would snap it up. I did. And I'm very glad. And I'm not going to let it go. As you can see, I've used it quite a lot, actually. Anyway, on Thursday I went to the hospital and I thought I must respect the other patients and the staff. And so I went with a much more recent release than these. And this is Belle Ambre from Les Abay. This is Belle Ambre. This is Eugene's perfume, and it was given to me. And as such, I shall not be offering opinions on it because I have made a loud noise for a long time about free perfume and all that sort of thing. So I have kind of recused myself from giving opinions on this. What I can tell you is that it has orris, iris, cacao, tonka, sandalwood. You may very well see me wear this again. It's very cold and windy here. I kind of feel like that style of perfume, that big, rich, thick orris kind of thing, it's very good at like this time of year, you know. Next up, Friday. I went with something different, but by the same perfumer and the same ingredient house, actually. This is Patchouli Noisette. This is quite dark. This has become quite dark on me. Excuse me, sorry. This is a Dura Rose told me that he thinks it smells like a Middle Eastern perfume, and I kind of got what he meant. And I really enjoyed this the first time I smelled. Pardon me. I really enjoyed this the first time I smelled it, and then I struggled with it, and now I'm coming back round to it. It's been a trek. It's been a mission, you know. Big, strong patchouli forward perfume. The hazelnut provides this kind of roundness, this kind of tempering, but it's still quite raw in and of itself, which should tell you about the patchouli. If you're a big patchouli lover, you might still. It's not an ambery patchouli. It's a raw kind of incisive patchouli. So it's I don't want to say sharp because it's not painful. The way it wears as well is fantastic. It smooths out over time and becomes this. It's very dark again. It's very dark. Do I want to say smoky? Maybe a little bit. Not as overtly smoky as something like Queer by Mona Diorio. But there's this kind of dark blackness to it. You know, like a smoke kind of thing. Not astringent. But I don't know, maybe I need to wear it more to understand it a bit better. You know? But anyway. That was Patchouli Noisette. Performance is massive as well. Don't worry about that. Good grief. Anywho, yesterday, if you will. Yesterday, I wore a fragrance I got in my search haul. And there's a Jeu de Peau. Jeu de Peau It's a Surge Gourmand. I was talking to somebody in the comments of that video where I did the Surge unboxing, and they were like, Surge has a few gourmands, because I thought this is like a very surgy gourmand. You know, it's bread, it's milk, wheat, and it wears like that as well. It does like wear. It's utterly strange to behold, but when you wear it and you get used to it and you figure it out, and you can wear it and be really happy with it. And I was yesterday, even though I smelled bready and milky, you know. It's utterly genius to even think of crafting something like that. You know, it's got a little bit of sweetness, just a little bit. But it's so clever. Milky, lactonic, ambery, dry, wheaty, like bready, you know, like dough. It's that kind of vibe. Very interesting. Love it. Really enjoyed wearing it. It tickles your brain when you wear it. You're like, whoa, I smell like milk and bread. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this. And then slowly but surely, like as the day goes on, you're like, yeah, I smell like a baker. This is fantastic. And it wears like an amber. So it's like an amber with like a milky, wheaty twist. Definitely worth sampling. Definitely. I'm not sure if it's still out. I hope it is. Okay. On to my scent of the day, which I shall reapply. And this is one of my favourite smelling perfumes. Absolutely it is. I love this stuff. And I don't wear it enough, but you can see the damage I have done to this bottle. And this is Yves Saint Laurent's M7, the Oud Absolu version. I have the vintage version. I also have a backup version of the Oud Absolu. They are a little bit different, but they're both very worthy. They're both this is a brilliant reformulation. It can be done, friends. It can be done. Performance isn't massive, but it's better than a lot of other designer stuff. I'd say you get about 6 hours, 4 to 6. I used to think the performance on this was shit. I don't know that the perfume hasn't like grown inside the bottle, you know, and matured, but I'm not getting into that. It's mandarin. It even tells you on the side what it is. It's mandarin, oud wood or bois de oud, patchouli, cyst, and myrrh. So it has cistus, I believe. The mandarin in this is absolutely gorgeous. It's also got like a slightly boozy kind of thing, which I think mandarin can give to a perfume. It does that in Egoist Cologne Concentrate. Like a sweet booze, you know. Awesome sauce. Bottle's a bit of a cow to spray. If you need like a decent sized hand, because it's just fucking square bottles are a bit of a pig. You know what I'm saying? But yes, that is it, my friends. This has been my fragrance rotation for the week ending the 21st of January. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been an ambery week. I thought it wasn't going to be, but it turned into one. We'll see what